Don't forget. So hello, good evening, happy Tuesday to you. Welcome, congratulations once again. Welcome to your next chapter. Welcome to Ziano Mind Spa. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I am so in awe of you for taking the time out on a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. I can only imagine what you have had to leave behind, what you had to sacrifice to say, I will come back to this later in order for you to be here with us like this today, to give this time to you and to give this time to your next chapter. So why are we here? We're here really, first of all, to meet each other, to say hello. And we're here because we are probably reflecting on our lives. And as we reflect on our lives, we know that there's so much more we can do than what we've done so far. We know that in spite of our successes, and please don't get me wrong, we have had successes, but we know that there's more. We know that we can be more. We know that we can do more. We know that we can have more. We probably have a yearning somewhere deep inside of us that's telling us that now is the time. That it's time to give a name, a voice to this thing that's been bubbling away inside of us. It's time to give ourselves fuller expression. It's time to say yes to all of who we can be. And so that's why we're here. If that resonates with you, let me know. Say yeah in the chat. Say yes, that resonates. Thank you, Emma. Yes. So
yes.
Thank you. I am going to, if you see me looking away, if you see me looking here to my left, it's because I'm looking at the chat. I'm not ignoring you, but I've got different screens open in front of me. I'm looking at, when I look here, I'm literally looking at you, or this is where you see me from. But I need to look here so I can see what you're sending back to me. So forgive me if I look away. I'm not ignoring you. I can see the yeses. Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen in a minute and share with you, why am I here? I'm here to share the five main steps that I have seen in my journey of transforming my life, reinventing my life from a corporate professional to now being an author, a speaker, and a trainer. I shy away from using the word coach. I don't know why, even though I'm a certified coach, but I shy away from that word because I think that sadly in the last few years, that word has been bastardized quite badly. So I shy away from that word. But there's nothing wrong with the word. Yeah. Yes, Alina. I see that. Thank you. But also a coach. If you are thinking about this next chapter being offering a service to the world, a service that's based on your life experience, that's based on your journey, that's based on your story, that's based on where you have been, and you know that you want to use that journey, those experiences, that story to impact people, to help people, to serve the world, to support, then you're absolutely in the right place. And even if you're not sure, you're still in the right place, because you may hear something that will trigger something in you. You may see something that will trigger something in you, and you may say, I like the sound of that. You may also say, I don't like the sound of that. And that's fine, because not knowing what you want is just as important as knowing what you want. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get going. So I have to say, in total transparency, I was slightly nervous about tonight. Why? Because my last few events have been in person. I haven't done a virtual one of these in a while. And I realized that I'm really rusty at little things like sharing my screen. So how do I even share a screen on Zoom anymore? I don't know. So forgive me. I beg you for your grace. We will get there, but I'm not as savvy as I used to be. So we're going to get there. What did I do? I needed to let somebody in. Oh, here she is. She's moved to my other screen. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to ask you to let me know in a minute if you can see my screen. And I'm hoping the answer is yes, but I'm not happy because I believe you can see my working screen. I want you to see my not my working screen. Am I right in saying that you can see my working screen?
Well, I can see next chapter, how to reinvent yourself and launch your personal brand.
Is that all you can see? You can't see all another screen with my saying next slide, next slide, next slide.
I see next slide.
There
Click
you
to
go.
add notes.
There you go.
At the
That's what
bottom.
you shouldn't be seeing. Or rather, that's what I don't want you to see. And it worked this afternoon. And for some, listen, we're just going to go.
Do you have two screens, NA? Do you
I
have
do
two
have
screens?
two screens. I do have two screens.
Are you using PowerPoint?
I am.
Go to PowerPoint.
I am. I'm in PowerPoint.
Go to I don't remember exactly. There's a place where you can look at this. You can select main screen. Let me see if I can.
What I'm going to do. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shut down. I'm going to shut down my other screen. We're going to use one screen.
Okay, that works.
Does that work?
That works. Yeah. Well, I can see your screens on the left, though. Your slides on the left.
It's fine. No, go back to how you were was fine.
I'm sure that's not how you want us to look. Let me go in here and tell you how it works. Hold on.
It's fine now. It's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's
fine now. You can't see my notes anymore.
No. Oh, right. That was good.
We got there. Thank you.
That was good.
You see why it's good to be. You see why I say you're at the spa? You can turn your cameras on, because if I can't work PowerPoint, you can turn your cameras on, okay? So thank you. Hello, Faith. Hello, Faith. We have two Faiths on the call now. So you can only see my big screen. You can't see you can't see where it says next slide, next slide, next slide. Am I right?
Right.
Perfect. Thank you. So 5 steps to reinventing yourself and launching your personal brand. And you are in the absolutely right place. If this personal brand you have identified, is to be an author, a coach, a trainer, and dare I say, a speaker. Again, I'm reluctant to use the word speaker because this is not for public speakers, and it may help public speakers, but it's not specifically for public speakers. And also because I genuinely believe that we're all speakers. We are all speakers. So whether you are a public speaker or not, you are a speaker, and we're actually going to be speaking about that in the next few minutes. So I'm going to ask you again to please bear with me. What can you see now? In terms of my slides, what can you see now?
Next chapter.
The same thing, right? The same thing. Perfect. Yep. Thank you. Okay, we move. So you're ready to reinvent yourself. How long will we be here together? We'll be here together for about an hour to an hour and a half. I don't intend to keep you longer than an hour and a half. I can't promise I will let you go within an hour, but I promise to let you go by an hour and a half from 7 p.m. UK. So that's 8:30 p.m. To get the most out of this session, I invite you to shut out distractions and turn your phones to silent and be fully present and give yourself the grace of this time so you can really catch all that we are going to be sharing.
I like that, the grace of this time. I like that.
Thank you, Irma. Let's give ourselves the grace of this time, because I think we have so many conflicting priorities in life. Life gets so busy that we have now taken multitasking to a new level. And I don't actually believe that there's such a thing as multitasking. I think at any one point in time, you're actually just doing one thing. You may have 3 or 4 different things on the burner at the same time, but at any one point in time, your focus is only on one thing. So I invite you to put your focus here and only here for the next hour and a half.
I agree.
Thank you. And so what I'm going to invite you to do next is relax in your, well, first of all, sit up straight, and relax. And let's take a deep breath to get ourselves ready for what we're about to experience. So at the count of 3, breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And let it go. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And let it go. 1, 2, 3. And as we count, I invite you to think about what you want to experience in the next hour and a half, your intentions for this time. And one last time, deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. And release. 1, 2, 3. This is a safe space. What does that mean? We come together as adult women voluntarily. We bring all of ourselves. We bring all of ourselves. In this space, there is no judgment. What we see or what we hear, which is why I said, come just the way you are. I don't care that you don't have your bra on. I don't care that your hair's not done. We don't care because we want to see you just the way you are. No judgment. And sometimes the person who is judging us is actually us. No repercussions and unconditional love. This is a safe space. Yes, yes? Tell me yes. How you, oh my word, the people waiting to
Yes,
come in.
yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes, yes,
yes.
yes,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Yes, yes. If I didn't let you in time, I'm sorry. We were doing body scan, but welcome. So as we said before, you've probably been dreaming, you may have been dreaming about this for a while. You may have been asking yourself, what more can I do with my life? Especially after the 2020 and 2021 that we had. I think we'll probably agree that that time allowed us thinking time, thinking space to reflect on our life and say, God forbid I'm impacted by this, and we're all impacted by this in one way or another. But God forbid I am really badly impacted by this, as in directly. What would I think as I take my last breath? What would I think? What would I say when I meet my maker? Maybe it's just me, but those thoughts certainly ran through my mind. What would I think if I don't make it through this? What would I say to my maker? And my maker says to me, what did you do with the time that I gave you on earth? And ladies, I didn't like the answer that I was getting. I didn't like the answer that I was getting. And so that's why we're here. to really ask ourselves, to hold a mirror to our faces. Literally hold a mirror to our faces and say, am I living life to the fullest expression of who I am, who I was born to be? Am I doing all I can with the time that I've been blessed with? And am I doing all I can with the gifts that I've been blessed with? And if you're like me and the answer you come up with is not one that you like, then now is the time to do something about it. Because one thing is for sure, nobody is going to get out of life alive. Nobody. We don't know when that time will come, but we know that that time will come. And think about somebody giving you a gift, going out and buying you a gift, picking out a gift for you because they know who you are. They know what you like. They know what you love. They know all the other gifts you have. And they know that this one gift is the pinnacle of all your gifts. They go, they handpick it, they get it all wrapped up, they deliver it to you. You say thank you, and you put it on the table. And the person comes back in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, for some people, 60 years. And when you let them in, they look at the table and that gift is still there. Untouched, unopened, just the way they gave it to you, still wrapped up. How do you think that person will feel? You didn't even open the gift. You didn't even open the gift. That's why we're here. Are you in the right place, ladies? Right now? Are you in the right room?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. So as I said, I realized that that was me. Everything I say, I don't say from a place of judgment. I say from a place of experience because I have been there. That was where I once lived. I had a good life on paper. I realized that some people here know me. Some people here have been in my space for way longer than we care to share. You know me, but I also realized that there's some people here who don't know me and who they're meeting me for the first time. So I'd like to share a little bit about myself. I had a 30-year, almost 30, I think it was 28 and a half years. Thank you, Alina. It was you I was referring to, by the way. 28 and a half years in corporate. It may even have been 29. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But I had an almost 30-year corporate career, and I had what you could call dream jobs, a good life on paper.
Excuse me, N.A., there's
Yes.
nothing that you're sharing, right?
There's nothing I'm sharing. I'm just telling you my story.
Okay,
Nothing
sorry.
I'm sharing. Thank you. I had a good life on paper, and as I built the corporate dream and as I lived the corporate life, because that was all I knew how to do, that was what I was taught how to do from when I was born. My parents said, go to school, get a good job, and have a good life. And that's what I did. And as I built the corporate dream, I didn't realize, because of a lack of self-awareness, a lack of self-assessment, I didn't realize when that dream came to an end. And I certainly didn't realize when the dream turned into a nightmare. But it did. Because I had yearnings buried deep, deep, deep within me, telling me that there was so much more I could do with my life. I mentioned a lack of self-awareness. I mentioned a lack of self-assessment. There was another one, a lack of self-belief. Because if anyone had told me that I could have done any more, I would have said, no, you're lying, you're wrong. Because 20 years before 2020, so in the year 2000, I left my corporate role to set up a business which failed miserably, miserably. So my self-belief was at an all-time low. And I thought, of course your business failed. You're a corporate chick. That's all you know how to do. Go back and get another corporate role. And so that's what I did. So anyway, 2020, completely unrelated to COVID, I woke up one day and I said, the time is now, because you have gifts that have been sitting on the table that you haven't opened. You have dreams sitting, lying within you, calling you, tapping you. You haven't given yourself a chance to even identify what that thing is. And so one day in January 2020, I literally walked out of my job. I literally walked out of my job. I am not suggesting anybody does that. I am not suggesting anybody does that. I walked out of my job because I had to burn the bridge. And that is exactly what I did. I burned the bridge, and I have absolutely zero regrets. But that's not a formula for everybody. And so I went in search of me. For 6 months, I did nothing. For 6 months, I was literally at home doing nothing, because by that time, fortunately for me, the world had come to a standstill anyway because of the pandemic. So I was home doing nothing. And then I found my voice. And I enrolled in very many programs. I got myself a coach. Actually, I lie. I got myself 4 coaches. And I discovered that I actually had a voice. And I discovered that I actually had not one, but many gifts that had been wrapped up for me sitting at the table, waiting for me to unwrap. And I took the time to unwrap those gifts. Since then, I have had the great fortune to share a stage with the legendary Les Brown 4 times, with Lisa Nichols once. I have written a best-selling book. I have delivered a TEDx talk. I have spoken on the stage of a Fortune 500 organization, the 2nd largest investment bank in the world. And I have co-authored 4 other books. These weren't even dreams on the 1st of January 2020. And these have all happened since July 2020 till now. So not even quite 3 years. I share this to say it's possible for every one of us to identify what that thing is that's within us and to make it a reality. That's why I'm here. So I'd like to share with you the top 5 steps that I have identified in my journey. This is not anything anywhere on Google, but what I have identified in my journey to help us on the journey of reinvention as we create our next chapter. Yes, yes, should we get started?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So what's my key message? My key message is live without regrets. My key message is do it now. Do it now. Live without regrets, because we don't know how long we have. My mission is to go back and get the others. Go back and get the others and tell them what you found. Sometimes we disqualify ourselves from living our best life because we don't know who we are. So we tiptoe through life like we're trying not to wake anyone, when in fact it is us who are sleeping. If you've been asleep, this is your wake-up call. Wake up and live. this is your wake-up call. So let's get started. As I said, I have different screens, so if I look away, please forgive me. I have actually missed a couple of people trying to get in because I've been looking at my camera, forgetting to look on my left, but that's not your problem. Now let me resume share. The first key. Tell me you can see clarity on your screens. Can you see clarity?
Yes.
Tell me yes. The first key.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The first key is clarity. Clarity.
We can see it clearly.
You can see clearly. It's crystal clear, Alina, you could even say. It's
Crystal clear. Yeah.
So clarity. The first step is clarity. But here's the thing about clarity. It's not a once and done. Imagine that you're climbing, you're going up a ladder, right? And the ladder has got, I don't know, 30 steps. When you take the first step, you can't see what's on step 30 or 29 or 28. You may not even be able to see what's on step 2. All you can see is what's on step 1. All you need at that point is what's on step 1. All you can possibly cope with at that point is what's on step 1. When you're at step 0, the only clarity you need is to get you to step 1. It's not to worry about steps 25 and above, it's to get you to step 1. Why? Because with every step in the journey, we require further clarity, we are evolving ourselves, we are rediscovering more of who we are, and with that will come even more clarity. I say this to say clarity comes as we take each step. Sometimes we wait, we dance around, we wait, we say, I won't jump in until I see the whole road. I won't jump in. No, you will never see the whole road if you don't jump in. So it's like jumping out of an aeroplane. The parachute doesn't, I mean, not like that's something I'm ever likely to do. But from watching people do it, your parachute doesn't open until you jump. You can't open it in the plane. Jump and it will give you flight. So that's the first thing I want to say. Clarity. Jump, and with that you will have wings to fly. But please don't wait until you can see the entire journey, because your journey will unfold as you move. I love this quote. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the very first time, by T.S. Eliot. Because we are constantly evolving. Who you are today is not who you were yesterday. Who you will be tomorrow is not who you are today. And I want to say something actually quickly before we move on. And so just based on that statement I made, we shouldn't compare either. Your clarity is not my clarity. For me, your clarity is not Irma's clarity. Alina, your clarity is not Mary Rose's clarity. And your step 1 could be Mary Rose's step 30. Please don't despise another person's step 30, but don't you ever minimize your step 1. Because you can't get to step 30 if you don't get to step 1, if you don't start. I think oftentimes as human beings, we have a tendency to compare and to think that we're not doing as well as we should or we could. There's nothing further from the truth. Where you are is where you're supposed to be. Get clear on your journey and stay focused on your journey. So how do you get clear? How do you get clear? I think there are 2 questions that we need to ask ourselves. And both of these questions, again, evolve over time. It's not I got the answer today, so that's the end of it. But the 2 questions we need to ask ourselves regularly are, who am I? What do I want? And who you are today is not who you were yesterday. And who you will be tomorrow is not who you are today. But we need to constantly ask ourselves, test ourselves, assess ourselves. Like I shared, I had zero self-awareness, zero self-assessment, which is why I kept going back to a role that I had long outgrown because I didn't do the necessary self-evaluation when I should have done. Test, am I still learning? Am I still growing? Am I still happy? And I don't mean happy like, you know, like just happy, happy. I mean deep within me. Do I have meaning? Do I feel that my soul is satisfied? Do I feel that I'm significant? Do I feel that I'm adding value? Do I feel that I am being utilized to the best of my abilities? Am I helping others? That's what I mean by happy. And that doesn't mean jumping ship, because the answer is no, but that means preparing the next step whilst being grateful for where we are right now. And the second is, what do I want? This is a question that is so difficult to answer. What do you want? What do you want? Get still, get quiet, and ask yourself, what do I want? What will make the most difference in my life right now? What will give me that thing that's meaningful to me? And this is not about just chasing money or chasing ideals. I'm talking of deep, soulful satisfaction, deep, soulful fulfillment, about how you can add value to people's lives and what will add value to your life. And when we talk about identifying what you want, we also need to test it against your mission, your values, your essence, your core, your gifts. Otherwise, it's like climbing that beautiful ladder we just talked about, only to get to the top and realize that we've been against the wrong wall the entire time. And this is not about looking outside of you. Every single answer that you seek, every answer that you seek is deep within you. It lies within you. And here's the thing, it's actually trying to get your attention. It's trying to get your attention. So what do you want? Explore, experiment, test, do life, see life. And when you see people do things that trigger something in you, something you like, you think, oh, I like that. Make a note of it. Take a picture if you can. Make a note of it to come back to later, to journal on, to think about. What was it that you liked? I absolutely am in love with Joel Osteen. I love him. I love him. I also love Joyce Meyer. And I constantly watch them, as well as other people. I love Steve Harvey. I watch them and I think, what is it about these people that I love? Because what they have in them that I love, guess what? I have in me. What you see in people that you love, you have in you, which is why you identify with them. You say, I love that person. They inspire me. It's because you have that thing. So find that thing. And the only way you can find that thing is by exploring, by experimenting, by testing, by allowing yourself to embrace life. And dare I say this, by trying new things. Some of us, we don't like trying new things. I don't like that. Have you ever had it? No, but I know I don't like it. Well, how can you not like it if you've never tried it? I just know I'm not going to like it. I know I'm not going to like it. How can you know you're not going to like something? Try, experiment, explore. You just never know what you might learn about yourself. This is a time to get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. And get to fall in love with this new person that you just met. Get to fall in love with this person, this special being that you just met. Because this being is waiting to fall in love with you. Ooh, okay. So what experiences?
How beautiful. How beautiful.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you. What experiences do you want to have? What impact do you want to make? Who has an impact on you? Why? How? Test, receive, allow. This is not a nice question, but this is not a nice question, but it is the single question that one of my coaches asked me in 2020 that got me to where I am today. It's not a nice question, and so forgive me. If today were your last day on earth, what regrets would you have? When I was asked this question, I was affronted. How dare she ask me this kind of question? But when I pondered on it, I thought, what a beautiful question. You may have heard of Bronnie Ware. Bronnie Ware is a nurse who looked after dying patients, and she did a piece of research on her dying patients and asked them for their biggest regrets in their journey of life. And the top 5 regrets, I don't know the remaining 4, but I know the top 1. There were 5 that she categorized, but the top 1 was I wish I'd had the courage to live a life that was true to myself and not one that was expected of me. How many of us can say that we're truly living a life that's true to ourselves? I dare say not many. I dare say not many. So now is the time. Because you cannot hear something in your soul and pretend that you didn't hear it. You've heard this. You've probably heard this way more than once. You can't hear something and pretend that you didn't hear it. You can try to pretend, but your heart, your soul knows that it's heard it. So as we said at the start, this is your wake-up call. This is a time to close your eyes, pinch your nose, and jump. And stop doing this business of I'm going in, don't hold me back. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, next week. No, jump. Just the way you are. You're ready. That is the first key, clarity. The second key is courage. I'm going to stop at the end of the second key and let's just have a very small share by a couple of people. The second key is courage. Courage is huge. Courage is huge. Why? Because courage is the single biggest reason why we won't do anything. Courage is the single biggest reason why we haven't done anything up till now. What do I mean by courage? I talked about not having any self-belief in myself, which is why I stayed in a corporate role that I had long since outgrown, because of a lack of courage. Because of a lack of courage, a lack of self-belief. Oftentimes, we dress up our lack of courage in nice, sexy words. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the support. My kids are too young. My kids are too old. When my kids leave home, when my kids come home, when I get a new job, when I move house, my parents are still alive and they're aging and they need me. There's nothing more satisfying to your parents than watching you live your dream. There's nothing more satisfying to your children than watching you live your dream. I'm going to say a bad word. Lies. Lies. Forgive me, but lies. It's all fear. Fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of judgment. What will they say? Imposter syndrome, low self-esteem, negative self-talk, fear of past mistakes. And I say this because, these are all mine. These are not even yours. These are all mine. I own all of these. These are all mine. Fear of my past mistakes. What will people say? Fear of I am too educated for this. Yes, I said it. Or I'm not educated enough. I have had a wonderful, successful corporate career. I can't possibly go and start all over again with 20-something-year-olds. Okay. Live with regret then, because that's your only other option. So my question is, and I'm not asking you to answer, to tell us, I'm asking you to tell yourself in your own private time. If you're ready and you haven't started, what's stopping you? And even if you have started, what's still stopping you? Because oftentimes we start, but we do it tentatively. We don't go all in. We just test the waters. I'll try this little thing, and if it doesn't work, then I can always come back. What is stopping you? What's stopping you? And what's the real reason behind what's stopping you? Don't lie to yourself. You can lie to everybody else, but please let's not lie to ourselves. What is stopping you? And I can guarantee you that what's stopping you has probably stopped me. So again, no judgment. This is a place of no judgment. It's not about making you feel bad. What's stopping you? And then the next question, what is it costing you? What is it costing you? I'm going to stop sharing now because I'd like to see your beautiful faces. We'll come back to talk about what's the next step? Step 3. Oh, I hope I don't lose the whole, where was I on my slide and all this business. Oh, I'm scared. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Irma will help me. Hey, I'm brave though. I'm brave. Irma, I'm brave. I hope we can go back to where we were. I can see your faces. Oh, Rishashola, we missed you when you came in. Hello. We missed Mary Rose when she came in. Hello. We missed Nisha. Hello, darling. We missed Funke. Hello. And we missed Irene. Hello. Hello, ladies. Welcome, welcome. And so I just would like to, let's hear from a couple of people, just a couple of people in 30 seconds or less, because we still have a lot more to cover. Would anyone like to share anything that has been said so far that is triggering them, or they want to, I don't know, share something on 30 seconds or less? You can put your hands up, or you can put it in chat if you want, and I can read out the chat, but I'd like to hear from you. What are you all thinking? Oh, I've been missing the chat. Thank you. I love that. Deep question, very true, Risheshala. Deep question, Alina. I love that, Risheshala. Thank you. Hi, Just the Steps. You're home now, Faith. Thank you, my darling. Oh, hi, Elma. Thank you. Would anyone like to share? Stephanie, hello, hello. Who would like to share? A couple of people. Don't be shy.
Inia,
hey, Nisha, your hands up. Come on, my darling. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'm just about to make dinner, so you can't see my face. But and thank you so much for taking the time to do this. For me, purpose, living on purpose breathing purpose, eating purpose. You know, it's like that for me right now is the biggest thing, right? We can do, but unless you're living on purpose, then nothing will make sense. And so it is about living, breathing, and being purpose-led.
Yeah. Thank you, Nisha. Being purpose-led. And I think and again, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm being very vulnerable here. Purpose is not a word I considered until I was 55. That was 3 years ago. Just saying. Just saying. And for me, I don't know if it's the same word. I don't know if it's the same meaning with different words. For me, the word I use is meaning and significance, and what gives my soul peace. What gives my soul peace? And having meaning and personal significance and impact. Yeah, thank you. Rusheshola, hello, my darling.
Hi, Anne. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Just listening to everything you shared, I share a lot of your sentiments. I would say for me, I've always kind of known what my purpose is, in life. But one thing that's plagued me from actually living my purpose is fear. And I've always been the kind of person that take one step forward, and then the moment I feel like I don't get the support that I used to think I needed from people around me, I would go back like 20 steps backwards. And then I have to start all over again. So it's always been start, stop for me. But I'm just glad that I'm in this room. I know so well that this is a safe space, and I know that what you're doing here would definitely get me just moving ahead and not looking back.
Yeah.
That's just what I spot in my heart to share.
Thank you. Thank you, Rusheshola. Thank you for your vulnerability. You see, I think the first person that we need to be honest with is ourselves. Actually, the only person we need to be honest with is ourselves, really. Right? We can't, if we're not true to ourselves, we can't be true to other people. Right? And we can't be true to any higher force, right? Because within us lies God. And when we're not true to ourselves, we're also not being true to God, right? So we need to admit it to ourselves, yes. And admitting where we fall down is the first thing. And oftentimes our ego won't allow us to admit it to ourselves. Our ego will always try to make us want to be right and want to tell us that, yes, it's right to feel that way. It's right to, but actually even the ego is just fear. Is fear dictating, controlling the ego most of the time, right? So it's great that you've identified that it's fear. What I would say is you've probably seen those memes that have been going around that said, when God gave your purpose to you, it wasn't a Zoom call, right? You've probably seen those. So, my darling, it's your mission, it's your purpose, it's your significance, it's your life. And I often say, some people ask me, but how can I, some people say, oh, my husband doesn't support me. How can I get my husband to support me? And I ask them, well, what has your husband seen you do that makes him, that you think will make him want to support you? What commitment have you shown that will show him that this is a serious thing? This is not just another whim. This is something she has to do. that will get you on board with supporting you. I know that's not the case with you. This is a general statement I'm making now, to say when people don't support us sometimes, it may be, and this is, I'm not judging anybody, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying we also need to prove it to ourselves. And then when people see us proving it to ourselves, I think people will be more inclined to want to support us, because they'll know that we're being serious, that this one is not going anywhere. Let's move on. I am scared. Thank you, Arisheshola. I'm scared of the, why am I so scared? I'm actually scared of going back to share I want to read the chat. Alina, that is a great picture of you. We need to admit it to ourselves. Thank you, my dear Irma. The Dubai crew are
I meant to send it in private. Sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we can get this thing back. Where was I? I'm not sure where I am now. What can you see? You can see courage, yeah?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can.
Thank you. So, I want to show you this. Has anyone seen this slide before? This image before?
Yes, I have.
You
Yes.
have. Yeah.
Yes.
So I've seen this image in different ways. I want to speak on this really quickly. This is the image of the iceberg. What we see is what's over the waterline. That's what's visible. So I want to liken this to when we put ourselves out there, or indeed if we compare ourselves to people, what you see that people do is above the waterline. That's visible. And oftentimes we think that what we see is all there is. What we don't see is all the stuff that's happening below the waterline that is making what we see possible. So I have done a lot of personal development work on myself, and I'm still doing it, a lot of personal development work. I'm going to be totally honest. It coming up here and sharing with you at the start that I was nervous about this. It's not something I would have done 3 years ago. It's not. Share with you so many of my vulnerabilities. It's not something I would have done 3 years ago, because I hadn't done the work that you see below the waterline. I hadn't tested my beliefs. I hadn't tested my drivers. I hadn't tested my perceptions. I hadn't dealt with any of my experiences and the stories that I told myself about my experiences. I shared with you how my business failed in the year 2000. I shared with you that me and my family were over 100 grand in debt, which you might say, okay, well, yeah, no, that's money, but that's not life-threatening money. Let me remind you, this was the year 2000. To us, it may as well have been 10 million pounds. It took a lot of work for me to share that story and to keep sharing that story without breaking down in front of my audience, because that was one of my biggest traumatic experiences to date. I'm lying. That has been my biggest traumatic experience to date. A lot of work happened below the waterline. A lot of work happened below the waterline. My point is, please, as you work on your professional development, as you work on your business development, please do not ignore what happens below the waterline, because that will sabotage all the work you do above the waterline. It's not a threat, it's a statement of fact. it will. It will. That work, but the thing is that work below the waterline is not sexy. It's not sexy, it's not visible, so it's not tangible, and so it doesn't get the respect it deserves. But without it, nothing going on above that waterline. Nothing. I need to share that with you. And this is work I am still doing every day. Work on your below the waterline stuff. Otherwise, don't bother do any work above the waterline. You are what you think. You are what you think. Let's go. Let's move. Third key, currency. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. What do I mean? I mean both in terms of time, in terms of financial resources, in terms of the quality of your experiences, in terms of the quality of your relationships, in terms of what you read, in terms of your daily habits. Invest in yourself. Investing in yourself is all that below the waterline stuff, is all the below the waterline stuff. You may not see any tangible results, but it's happening. And what you will start to see is what happens, that the iceberg will start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because it has deep roots in foundation below the waterline. What else was I going to say about now? I am, okay, we're good. You can't read the label when you're locked inside the box. That is a quote by one of my coaches, one of my mentors, Les Brown. He says that all the time. You cannot read the label when you're locked inside the box. Get yourself help. Get help from coaches, from people who have been there, from mentors. Spend time and goodwill and leverage with building yourself up. Currency. And currency is not just about money. And most importantly, as you climb, turn around and also lift, because there are people who are looking at you as their inspiration. A few weeks ago, I had an in-person event, and Les Brown was he gave a masterclass virtually. He was virtual. It was an in-person event in the UK, but he attended virtually and gave us a masterclass. And one of the key lessons he shared to us was brand up. He said, brand up. Get people who have been where you want to go. And there are different ways that we can get help from people who have been where we want to go. And it's not always a financial transaction. It probably will be, to be honest, because that's how they eat. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. There's so many people I know who do volunteering, who say, can I come and work with you to learn from you? And if you show commitment to people, I suspect that they'll be hard pushed to turn around and say no. The key word there is commitment. So no excuse. Do the work. Do the work. You cannot outrun your self-image. Do the work. I want to share this slide with you. Let's start with what is that? Five past beliefs. Your beliefs, that's all the stuff below the waterline, will run your thoughts. Your thoughts will run your habits. Your habits will run your actions. And your actions will run your reality. It then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And which is why we often say, I thought that would happen. Yeah, you thought it, so it happened. You thought it, so it happened. Change your beliefs, change your thoughts, change your habits, change your actions, change your reality. There's so much stuff out there on how to work on your beliefs. There's so much stuff out there. If anybody cares to to know, Bob Proctor on YouTube is a good place to start. Again, I would say get as much free stuff as you can from YouTube, but YouTube can only do so much. YouTube is not a university. You can only do so much. At some point, we need to also just spend the time really getting ourselves into the space mentally that we need to be for our own selves. In fact, it shows us that we think we're worth it. Show yourself that you think you're worth it. You're bigger than YouTube. You're bigger than just YouTube, I should say. Irma, you did TIR. We both did TIR, didn't we? So we know, yeah, we both did TIR. TIR is one of Bob Proctor's programs, Thinking into Results. And in fact, this slide was created from what I learned from TIR. I wanted to say this. This is something I heard from John Canary, who's one of Bob Proctor's partners in one of his programs. There's a season to sow and there's a season to reap, but we don't do both in the same season. I think we often think that we'll start something today and we'll reap rewards tomorrow. I'm going to be vulnerable and tell you that I have been doing this now for coming up to 3 years, and I will be vulnerable and tell you that I have earned a very, 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 very small fraction of what I have invested in myself. Very, very. And I continue to invest in myself. One, because I'm worth it. And two, because I know that the season to sow is different from the season to reap. My season to reap will come. Your season to reap will come, but we need to sow.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank
Amen.
you. And don't try to skip the process. Thank you, Nisha. Don't try to skip
Amen.
the process. Thank
I
you,
agree.
Emma. And don't despise your season. The season will come. I look at people who are doing so well, and I don't just mean financially, I mean in terms of visibility, in terms of the impact that they're making, and I dream about being them, but that's not my season. I'm still in the sowing season. If I even got that, I wouldn't know what to do with it because I'm not ready yet. My below the water line still needs further development. And my darling, probably so does yours. So please don't despise where you are in the journey. We talked about this the other day when we had our in-person meeting. We didn't talk about this specifically, this particular call, but we talked about this idea about I have attended programs over and over and over again. So not just money, but most importantly, time on the same program over and over and over again. And people may say, are you going mad? Why are you spending your time and your money going to that program? You've been to it 3 or 4 times. And this is the reason why. When you read a good book through the second time, you don't see something in it that you didn't see before. You see something in yourself that wasn't there before. Every time I have gone back as a different person. We're back to this ladder. When I was at level 1, I could only take what was available in my world, in my experience, in my purview at level 1. If you'd given me level 25 stuff, I wouldn't have had a clue what you were talking about. I will share with you. I was coached by Lisa Nichols from 2021 to 2022. Every week, I go back and listen to our recordings. Thank God for Zoom. The things that Lisa said to me in our first call, oh my head. I had no clue that she even said it. And I go back to the recordings now and I'm like, that's what she was talking about. No idea. And I reckon I will continue to do that. Thank God for Zoom. Thank God for replays. That was 3. Where are we? I love this quote by Miles Davis. Time is not the main thing. Time is the only thing. Time is the only thing. Let's move on. 4, key number 4. Key number 4. Your number 1 tool is your voice. I said at the start that this event is not necessarily for public speakers, but it is for speakers. Why? Because we're all speakers. We're all speakers. This purpose, this meaning, this dream, this next chapter, whatever we want to call it, the one thing that will help us to amplify our voice is our power of communication. I cannot stress enough the importance that I have noticed in developing effective communication skills. It was me telling my story. I will share this with you. I was invited to speak at a Goldman Sachs Black History Month event. And I was scared because I said, one, I used to work for Goldman Sachs, although that's not why I was invited. I was invited through a totally different or completely unrelated connection. And I said, how can I go to a corporate organization and share my story? I was scared. And my husband said to me, you have to maintain integrity with your story. They invited you, they've read your book. I think they know what you're going to talk about. So I spoke at Goldman Sachs and I shared my story. Whilst I was still speaking, my phone was pinging. This was a free event. I spoke to them for no fee. Free. I went and spoke. Whilst I was still speaking, Goldman Sachs was on my phone. I'm thinking, I'm still speaking to you. How can you possibly be calling me? Goldman Sachs was on my phone saying, oh my God, we want you to now come back. Forget this free thing. Come back. We're going to put 200 of our top female execs and you in a room, and you're going to deliver training. How much? This is one. Thank you, Risheshola. 1, we talked about sewing a minute ago. I sewed, spoke to them for free. 2, my voice, the power of communication. Come back and do that as a proper training for our 200 top female execs. Who knew the power of your story? Your story is your front door. Your story is your brand. Your story is your DNA. Your story will get you through doors. Your story is enough. I'll say that again for the people at the back. Your story is enough. Okay. Oh my God, we lost Irene. Sorry, Irene. And I wasn't looking at my screen. Your story will share your mission. Your story will share your message. Your story will share your why. Your story will share your experiences. Your story will share your brand. Your story will connect. Your story will invite. Your story is enough. We've probably all seen or we're familiar with this quote. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. How you make
That's
them
my
feel.
favorite quote in the world.
Is that your favorite quote in the world, Elma?
That's my favorite quote in the world. That is so true. So profound.
The power of a story. Thank you, Irma. The power of a story. Again, total transparency, total vulnerability. I suffered from story comparison. I was in rooms with people who had experienced deep traumatic events, And I didn't think that my story measured up because that was not my story. And for a while, I considered forgetting this and doing something totally different. Until I realized that there are people that need to hear my story and my story alone. And with 8 billion people in the world, I don't actually need that many to make an impact, okay? So find the person, the people that need to hear your story. Not everyone is for you, and that's fine, because you are not for everyone. You're not for everyone, so why should everyone be for you? But there are people who need you and you alone. Please don't despise your story. Don't despise your voice. Somebody's waiting to hear that story, to give their life oxygen. Please don't deprive them of oxygen. And I'm going to invite you, before I let you go, this is number 4. We're going to move on swiftly to number 5. I actually have a bonus one for you. I couldn't resist. I have a bonus one for you. But I'm going to invite you. I have a 4-week Use Your Voice program starting on the 8th of June, runs every Thursday for the entire month of June, 4 Thursdays. It's all about developing effective presentation and storytelling skills. I'll talk about that before I let you go. So the 5th one is, let's move on, is connect by telling your story. Connect by telling your story. When we go on social media, tell your story. 30 seconds. You don't have to do the whole thing. When you're interviewed, tell your story. Because when people hear your story, they understand without you even saying what your mission is, what your why is. You should say that, but just by your story, they get your essence. They understand why they're listening to you. If you share your story and say that you're talking about people who have suffered from diabetes because you suffered from diabetes, I can walk away because I've never suffered from diabetes and it's not in my purview. But the people who have or who are or who have people who are, so it disqualifies people that you don't want in front of you anyway, quite beautifully, and helps you to then attract the people that you want to hear from. The power of one single story. Tell me the facts and I'll learn. Tell me the truth and I'll believe. Tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. I want to share with you, in the interest of time, the bonus one, the bonus one, because, and you can, for those who have been with me in the last couple of weeks, you can probably guess what the bonus one is. Where is it going? Stop. Bear with me. My slides. Here is the bonus one. Here is the bonus one. The power of community. Get into a community. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I have enrolled in programs just because of the community. I have. Not because the program itself or the coach or the trainer wasn't great, because they were, because I only enroll myself in with great coaches. But the community has probably, in some of them, have been just as important a pull, because we cannot do this thing alone. In the words of the late Sidney Poitier, when you walk with someone, something unspoken happens. Either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to yours. My question is, whose pace have you adjusted to? We can take one quick share. Would anyone like to share? Who's putting their hand up? Quick share for what we've talked about since the last share. Who would like to share? If you're putting your hand up, let me see. No one's putting their hand up. Who would like to share? No shares? No thoughts, no comments, no. Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
think the session is very powerful,
Thank you, Alina.
very
Thank you.
powerful. There's so many things that we need to sort of consider and sit with.
There are lots of things to consider and sit with.
mm,
Yeah, I agree with
thank
you.
you for that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Everything you have said is on point, Anna, as usual.
Oh, bless you, Irma.
Thank you.
This is so good. I mean,
Mary
I
Rose!
this is so good. You know, thank you, Ene. That's all I can say. Thank you. You don't know the impact that you are making inside me right now. I mean, it's not even outside, inside, deep inside.
Yeah,
You are making a great impact. Thank you.
thank you. You know, when I used to work, you know how you would have every year you'd get an annual bonus, you get, and especially because I work in human resources, that was actually what I did. I was part of the the people that was in charge of deciding bonus percentages and what the external market was doing, and so what we would do and who would get what. And you get your performance review with your manager, and you'll be told how well you've done, or maybe not how well you've done, and this is your salary increase and how much of a contribution you've made to the organization, and a letter telling you how much your bonus would be for that year based on your performance. And that should have been the time when I really should have assessed myself, because those meetings meant nothing to me. It was just like, yeah, okay, let's just get this over and done with. Give me my money, give me my letter, fine, I'll go home. But when I get messages from women now telling me, you inspire me, you have helped me to begin the journey of transforming my life. I need to speak to you. You don't know what your words mean to me. You don't know how I go to bed that night crying. But crying not the way I used to before, but now crying with joy. Just crying with joy that thank you that I'm able to experience this side of my life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alina. I get messages in my DM and they literally bring tears in my eyes. And my husband always makes a joke. He says, you're in a job, you're crying. You're in a job you hate, you're crying. You're in a job you like, you're crying. You're gonna cry either way.
It's so funny. He's so right. It's a different cry, though. It's a different cry.
You know, but honestly, the the joy is immeasurable. It genuinely is. It's immeasurable. So I want to thank you, but I do want to invite you. I do want to invite you to continue this journey. I have a community for women at this stage. It's really open to women who have attended at least one Ziano Mindspar event. We may open it up in the future. I think most of you here have anyway. But please get into a community. It is so important. And I would like to share, as I said, I have a 4-week program starting next month, 8th of June. It runs every Thursday for 4 Thursdays in June. And what we're going to be doing in that in that month, in those 4 weeks, is identifying our core message. What are we actually serving the world? What's our gift to the world? Or rather, what is our message that we've been given that we need to deliver to the world? What's our mandate? And how can we, who is that mandate for? And how can we develop the use of our voice to attract and to connect with the right people so that we can create the impact in the world that we want to create? If anybody would like to know more, I invite you all invite you all. It's a paid for program. If anybody would like to know more, you know where to reach me. Everybody here knows where to reach me. And we start on the 8th of June. It's on a Thursday, and it runs for 4 Thursdays throughout the month of June. Developing your story, delivering your message, telling your story, and mostly though, discovering what your core message is and who it is for.
At what time, NA?
That's such a great question. It starts at 7:30 UK, 7:30 UK, for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And yeah, it's Thursday the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. And it is £399, if anybody is interested to know that as well. So, and then also I wanted to invite you all to let you know that I'm also doing a retreat in Marrakesh in December this year. And the retreat is a transformational experience for us to really create our next chapter, get back to our core. Again, I did my first retreat last year, and one piece of feedback I got was that time, as great as it was, time would have been appreciated for each person to spend more time alone. Having done all the deep work that we did, to then go away and unpack all that and see what they're feeling within them. And so this year, my mission is not to have too much content. Last year we did content 50% and we did exploring Dubai 50%. This year will probably be 30% content, 30% exploring Marrakesh. We are going to be in Marrakesh. We have to see Marrakesh. And 30%, I have a client, so I need to go. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. See you later. And 30%, just spending time alone. Spending time alone to see what feelings are coming up within us. So again, I invite you all to that. But if anybody, I'm not going to keep you for more than another minute because I did promise you an hour and a half and I want to honor that. But if anybody wants to hear more, then you know where to reach me, you know where to find me. And if there's anything in particular that you want me to maybe do another webinar on, then again, I invite you to share that with me. Yeah. Comments, thoughts. Now's the time to share. Share.
Very grateful for
Thank
you.
so
Thank you, Alida.
just want to
thank you,
thank you.
Oh, we
and
have our Dubai girls. We have Elma was in Dubai. Faith, you're not here. Faith was in Dubai.
Is Faith here?
Was in Dubai. The Dubai girls are here. Hello. Faith, I hope
Dubai
I'm in Marrakesh
crew.
this year. I've saved your spot. You better be in Marrakesh this year. She's laughing. I'm messing with you.
Oh, I'm still standing.
You're still standing.
Still standing.
The feedback I got, I'm going to tell you, Alida. The feedback I got about more time being appreciated actually came from Alina.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that came from you.
Yeah.
And I took that on board.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you.
We had great, the Dubai retreat was absolutely amazing. And like you said, great content. And yeah, time to sit with what we're learning is very important, because I think with this personal development, we can listen to it, but not doing it and not sit with it and feeling it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Always.
Anyone else wants to share? Irene, you're very quiet. You're right, my love.
I am. And I just thank you, and I think the power of community, as you said, once you start to take the steps, the universe delivers the right people in your path to support you along the way. So for me, is the courage to start. That is the main thing. Once you take the step, it's amazing how many people come on your way to help you. And that's the connection that I have with you. And I love you.
I love you, my darling. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I was gonna say that Irene looked familiar, and I met you in Dubai, right?
Yes, you did.
Finally, put it together. Yeah, put it together. I said, well, I haven't seen her before. Hi.
Dubai. Yeah.
Yeah, I crashed the party, didn't I?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Anyone else before I let you go? Anyone else? I'm doing a certified transformational training program. Lisa Nichols program. It's a year-long program, and it's deep transformative work. With Lisa and Coach Sean Smith. If you don't know him, Google the guy. The guy is a mind guy, Sean Smith. And so we do really deep work. And so by the time when we go to Marrakesh, I'd originally scheduled the Marrakesh retreat for November. And then I realized that that's my graduation from CTTP. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from going to my graduation as long as I'm living and breathing. And I think it's in Miami. So I may see you.
Miami?
I think it's in Miami. So
Wow.
the retreat is not in November, it's in the first week of December. So I can go for my graduation and come back. But the best bit is I will have all that transformational knowledge to dump on you, Alina. You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm making space and everything. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You changed the date for Marrakesh?
Not since I told you. The dates haven't changed from since I told you. It's the same dates, 3rd to 9th of December. Yeah, 3rd to 9th of December. Not since I told you, my love.
Okay, when are you going to be in Miami?
Sorry?
When are you going to be in Miami?
9th of November. Because I wanted to keep the Marrakesh dates the exact same as we had last year with Dubai, so that every year we know it's the same dates. But Lisa already took that date for the graduation, so that's it didn't work this year.
So you're only going to be in Miami one day?
No, I'm going to be in Miami I can't come to Miami for a day. The graduation is on the 9th, but I'm going to be in Miami for like a week.
Oh, great. So
I'll let you know.
We have to see each other.
Of course. I'll let you know. Will there be a replay? Absolutely, Nisha. Yes, there will be a replay, my love. Yes, there will be a replay. Before I let you go, so I've been saying this for the past 10 minutes. If there's anything you want me to do a webinar on, then please let me know. Honestly, let me know. I will create a webinar for that. Somebody did ask me to do a webinar on how to host in-person events. Is there any interest in that at all? Is there any interest in that?
Yes, for sure, please.
Yeah?
I have an event
Yes.
September.
Sorry, who said that?
It's Nisha.
Hi, Nisha.
I have an event coming up in September. It's a live event, so that might fit in.
Okay. Somebody asked me for that, so I will do it. But there needs to be more than one person. I don't mind doing it for 2 people. Honestly, I don't, but there needs to be at least more than one person. What is the next Ziano Mind Spa experience? Ade, I love you so much. You always ask me this question. That is such a great question. The next experience will be in my house, right here. You're coming to my house. Sorry, Elma. Sorry, Elma, sorry. Sorry.
That's so nice.
One of these days I'll show up in London. One of these days.
5 minutes away.
The next one will be in my house right here on the 1st of July, 2023. 1st of July, right here. Because it's in my house, it's got to be really, really intimate. So we're going to keep it really tight. It's not going to be lots of people at all. because I'm quite OCD. So
I'm coming. I'm coming, Ene.
I'll be there. I'll be there. And is definitely coming.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So we have 1st of July for in person right here, one day. We have 4 weeks in June for Use Your Voice. And then we have Marrakesh. So no excuses. You need to be in at least one of those. At least one of those. Yeah. Let's go to Marrakesh and tell Marrakesh how things are done. Okay. Tell Marrakesh how things are going to go down. Okay. I'm going to let you go, girls. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your words are also inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you for me. I
Very good.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you, Ene. Thank you.
my darling. Thank you so much. Bye, Faith. Bye, Myrna. Bye,
Bye.
Christina.
Bye.
Bye, Irene. Bye, Elma.
Bye.
Bye, Annette. Bye, bye, bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.